have to do this again. That's not something. Hey brothers and sisters, it's your boy Forever Blessed Chris, and welcome to Chris Speaks. I first of all just want to thank you everyone who's been subscribing, who's been engaging with the content, with the messages that I put out, and it does encourage me to to carry on with the works that I'm currently doing. So you lot do give me strength as well to keep going. So I thank you very much. And if it's your first time seeing me today, I pray that you would like and subscribe as well, and God will bless you. Crying is an emotion that God has given us. You get every single thing that God has blessed us with is for us to use. It's got a purpose. There's a purpose behind the emotion of crying. You get everything that you was born with, God's expecting you to use it as a tool. You get what I'm saying? When a child is born, when a newborn baby comes into this earth, it doesn't come with money. No one comes with money in their pocket when they come out of their mother's womb. You get what I'm saying? But what do you come out with? Your arms, your hands, your feet, your legs. You get it? Some of us, and if you're missing one of those things, if you're missing some things, for them people that missed some parts of their body, it just means that God's got a blessing. God's got a plan for you that he's going to use for a miracle. Do you get what I'm saying? To bring glory to his name. So that's probably why, that's one of the reasons why you might have missed something as a child. See, by crying, God wants to know how you feel. And actually, in fact, he already knows how you feel. He wants you to feel him feel how you feel. I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna give an example because I don't know if that made sense. I'm basically trying to say, like, imagine, you're talking to someone over the phone and they're crying. Do you get what I'm saying? And then out of nowhere, you're feeling how they're feeling because of the way they're crying over the phone. You get emotional and maybe a tear drops from your eye as well. And then, you're talking on the phone and they can hear it in your voice that you're feeling how they're feeling. You get it? And it's like it builds, you get closer. It builds this connection. You get what I'm saying? So I hope that made sense. What the explanation I just gave. But anyways, let's get to the two verses that I was on about in the Bible. It's gonna show us how it's important for us to use the emotion of crying out and it's an important tool for us children of God, because in a way it reminds God of something. And we're going to have a look at these verses and see what it's trying to tell us. Right, from the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 23, where it says, where the king of Egypt dies and the children of Israel cried. Do you get it? And, when someone dies, people cry for different reasons. Some people cry. It's based on who that person was to you, who that person meant to you, who the person was. Do you get what I'm saying? So different people cry for different reasons when someone loses their life. The reason for their crying wasn't because, he should have been, we wish he was still alive. No, it's more of they were asking themselves the questions as in, who's gonna deliver us from this bondage that he placed us in? Do you get it? With him gone, they're thinking, who's gonna take over? Who's gonna now release us out of this bondage? So that's why the children of Israel were crying. Someone might have done you wrong and they've just vanished out of the face of the earth, or they're just living, you just see them living their best life, carrying on with their life as if nothing has happened. And then you're the one that's left behind trying to pick up the pieces. You might even have headed down a dark path where, you're probably, just doing things that you wouldn't normally do to numb the pain and things like that. So while they're out there, just moving on, you're left to pick up the pieces, but you're not even a person who done anything wrong. Do you get it? And that's just what happens sometimes. And then you're finding other ways to deal with your pain. You're getting yourself in some type of bondage, shall I say. And that's the same thing that happened with the children of Israel. When the king died, they were in a bondage. Do you get it? They were like, who's going to deliver us from this? So they cried out to the Almighty. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, you might be in that situation as well where you feel as if the person who's placed you in that situation, they've just vanished. And now you're thinking, oh, like, this could have been this, if only they said this, if only they apologized, if only, now I'm stuck here. And it's like, this is the moment for you to cry out to your Father as well, which is what the children of Israel did. So imagine you're at the mall, at the shopping center, in a shopping center, and there's a child crying. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's a child crying and everyone's looking around and they're thinking, where's this child's parents? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you just imagine it's like a 4-year-old just starts crying in a corner somewhere. And what will happen is sometimes the people around, like other kids around them, will probably point fingers and be laughing at the child. Do you get what I'm saying? And thinking, why is this child crying? Oh, you're a loser. As if they don't go through that emotion themselves. But, children will be children at the end of the day. But what do the adults normally do? Some adults will be like, all right, they'll try and find the child's parent. Do you get what I'm saying? Or some will even go out their way and, try and help the child or find out what's wrong with the child. And this is the important thing that I wanted to touch on and I want us to focus on, where it says that the cry went up unto God by reason. So the key thing here is the reason behind your cry. Like, the way I see it is, you seek God, seek first the kingdom of God. You seek God, you find out what your purpose is, and then you go on your journey, you go along your journey for your purpose. And anything that happens along that path during like what you're doing along that path of your purpose, going through the missions and trying to complete the task that God has set for you. If you cry along that timeline, that period, while you're going through that path, God has no choice but to react. He has to respond to it. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the cry that I'm talking about. Like, a lot of people, they give up on God because they feel like, I've been praying to God so much about this situation. I've been crying out to God and, is there even a God? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't respond to nothing. It's because, like, you're not crying in your purpose. That's like, if you're in your purpose and you're crying out to God, He has no choice but to respond. That's why on that bit of the Bible, on Exodus chapter 2, was it 23 or was it 23 or 24? It says that the children of Israel, their cry went up, to God. Because of the reason, behind their cry, it went up to God. And we know that there's a saying, what goes up must come down. Do you get what I'm saying? So if your cries are going up to God, to your mighty, God, you're crying and it's going up, then what must come down? Do you get His promise, His blessings, anything along the line of your purpose, He has to react to it. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's just what I was trying to touch on, why it's important for us to cry out. But just got to make sure that you're in the right path. Do you get what I'm saying? You're heading towards your purpose. You're trying to do what He's asked you to do. If you're trying to do what God has led you to do or asked you to do, listen, I cry to God all the time. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, these days, I don't even lift a finger no more. If someone comes against me or someone says something or someone even looks at me in a bad way, I'm just like, God, you saw that, right? You saw that. You saw what I was trying to do. Did you see? I didn't do nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's that's what happens when you're building your relationship with God. You ain't got to worry about certain things. And because of the reason behind their cry, it went up. It found its way to God. God wasn't looking for it. It came to Him. So He has no choice but to respond to it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like the emotion motioned itself to God. You see, emotions, they force a reaction out of whoever cares about you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you say the right thing to the right person, you get a good reaction. Do you get it? And if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time, it's not going to end well for you. Or, you get a bad reaction, or you might not even get a reaction at all. They'll just not even react to anything that you're saying. Like me, they'll just ignore you. And then on verse 24, it said that God heard their groaning, groaning, groaning. So he heard their groaning. And it's almost to say like that emotion that they did, them crying out, the children of Israel, when they cried out, it's almost like the groaning was like, to God, it was basically saying, look, your people are down here and they're not happy about something. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like going back to what I said about a child being out and crying in public and everyone's looking for their parents. It's like as soon as they do that crying out, it's like it alerts the parent. Do you get it? And it's like the noise that they're making is basically saying to the parent, look, your child's over here and there's something wrong. You need to attend to him ASAP. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's basically what I get when I see that part on verse 24 where the Bible says that God heard the children of Israel groaning. Do you get it? Because it's like, I could just imagine God being up there just thinking like, oh, Chris, like what's going on with Chris again? Why is he crying again? Do you get what I'm saying? And it's like, all right. But in fact, I already know why he's crying. And it's not because, he's crying, I can hear it, let me look down and see what's going on. It's because of the reason behind the crying. Remember I said, not even me, the Bible itself said because of the reason of their cry. And it's like when God heard them groaning, it's like, groaning is like the after effect of the cry, innit? It's like the annoying bit of crying. That's what I think anyway. And it's like, it's saying to God, look, it's like he can hear, it's not even them that he can hear now. It's the Jacobs, the Abraham, the Jacobs, you know what I'm saying? The Isaac. It's like he can hear all of that, the faith, the obedience. He can hear all of that in one. That's what's getting his attention. Do you get it? So when the children of Israel are crying out to God, yes, he can hear their cry, but it's the reason behind it, the promise that he made for Abraham. You know what I'm saying? The promise, and you get what I'm saying? The God that he is, the true God. What did they say? The covenant keeping God. Do you get it? That's what got his reaction when the children of Israel started crying. It was the reason behind it, and the reason was he remembered that, wait, do you get what I'm saying? This is the Abrahams, this is the Isaacs, this is the Jacobs, the work, the shift that they've put in for my kingdom. I have to answer to this cry. That's why it's important for us, especially the men as well. It's important for us to be able to cry out to God, the men of God, to be able to cry out to God, our Father. Because, do you get what I'm saying? Because not even that, actually. You see the work that we're putting in now towards building his kingdom. Do you get what I'm saying? It's more for the next generation. For example, if later on in life, when I'm not around, if my son happens to be going through something and he's crying out to God, God's gonna remember that, whoa, I remember Chris when he was putting in that shift for my kingdom. Do you get what I'm saying? Nah, I've got an answer to that. Do you get it? So sometimes it's not about they're crying because of the situation they're in. It's because of the reason behind it, and the reason behind it that carries the weight could have been for my son, for example, for our kids, our children. It will be the faith that we showed for God, the work that we put in for God. That there must carry weight for our next generations, so that God can be able to, because we're not going to always be around. Do you get it? But God is. Do you get what I'm saying? And our faith and the work that we've put out will always be around for the next generations. So by the time when they start crying, God's going to remember that, hold on, I remember when this, that. You know what? I have to answer to that child. So that's just why it's important for us as well to remain obedient. Do you get what I'm saying? Because we never know when our kids are gonna, the next generations, when they're gonna need to cry out to God so that they can remember, you know what, I remembered when, his mom or her mom or his father or her father was obedient. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna have to answer to their cry. And then on verse 25, we see that it says, and God had respect unto them. And that's why it's very important for us to study the Bible for ourselves, because I'm pretty sure, like even me myself, before I got to this verse, I'm pretty sure, like most of us, we had that mindset of, you know what, a man crying, is a sign of weakness. But when you look at the Bible, it clearly says here, if you're crying, if it's within reason, the reason that's attached to it, God will show mercy on you, and he'll have a plan to deliver you from whatever you're going through. If it's along the purpose, do you get what I'm saying? Depending on the reason that's attached to you crying out. So that's why it's very important for us to read the Bible, because the world will tell you no. But then the Bible is saying, listen, that's your father. You can cry out to him. And it says on verse 25, he had respect unto them. But the world will tell you, a man who's crying out, who cries, you shouldn't show him respect. They'll lose respect even. So, and imagine a man that's with his girlfriend. If she sees him crying, showing the emotion of crying, she'll lose respect for him. That's the world we're living in. But the Bible in the kingdom is clearly showing you that a man crying out to God, showing that emotion, God shows respect unto them. So whose respect would you rather? People of the world or God? Do you get what I'm saying? So that's just an important thing that I felt like sharing with us. And it's just important to remember that, as we cry out, the reason behind the cry goes up to God. I just wanted to share that because I feel like, sometimes we just got to open the Bible and see what it says and not hear and block out everything else that's going on in the world. And sometimes we do need to go to our secret place and cry out to the Lord, our Father, so he can deliver us from whatever you're going through. And my name's been Forever Blessed Chris, and this has been Chris Speaks. And thank you for joining me today. If it is your first time, don't hesitate to press the subscribe button, and please press the like button if this has helped you out or enlightened you in any way. And I'll see you on my next video. God bless you.